Hey, gorgeous. So you have listened to my advice and now you are meeting guys online, but you have no freaking clue what to ask them or what to get the conversation going or even how to go from the app to actually landing that date. Okay, that's not a problem. I have some great tips for you on what to message him and what, really good questions to ask him in order to see if he's someone worthwhile. If he is a quality man, you will know with these great questions. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Lylian and I help single women fall in love with themselves so that they can attract their dream guy. And if you're new here, please make sure that you subscribe and you hit the bell so you get notified when I post a video every Monday. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump in. So once you find someone that you're interested in, this is what you do. You reach out to them first. And your initial message has to be something specific related to an activity that he mentions in his profile. So it has to be a specific experience that you have that is related to something that he says in his profile. So something more specific to him in that experience, something that you enjoyed, of course, and that you are like, oh, hey, like I also, did this. How was your experience, right? And always ask him a question about the experience, right? The reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of times women, they may initiate the conversation. Sometimes they never do. They just wait. But when women initiate the conversation, sometimes it goes like this. Hey, how's it going? Okay, so that's not very specific. It could be just anybody. You could just be messaging a bunch of other guys with the same generic and general question. So this makes you stand out in his eyes. Or if you can't see anything that you can really comment on his profile, there may not be much to comment on. There may not be like a long profile. In some apps, there's like very little. So if you can't see anything that you can like really make something out of, like a comment or a question around it, then give him a sincere compliment. And this can be in the form of like, I just started running myself and I noticed that, you have done a half a marathon, Vancouver Sun Marathon. I don't know. I'm just making this thing up because I'm not a runner, but, you get the idea. You make a compliment that you're also sort of like you enjoy an activity that you're enjoying, right? And an activity that he enjoys himself. So then that would make him feel that there's a connection there. From the get-go, you are creating that connection instantly for him because he can see that, hey, you're also like becoming a runner, so you may be interested in the activities that he's already doing. See? After he messages you back and you respond, always respond with his name if you have it, okay? Because that creates a connection instantly. Using someone's name just creates a bond between you, okay? If you do happen to know his name, it's there in his profile or whatever, just use his name. Also, be, playful and fun and stay upbeat and create a sense of playfulness between the two of you. So you can do that by maybe challenging him. Like if you like badminton and he's also a badminton player, you can say something like, hey, like, are you up for a badminton game or are you too afraid to lose to a girl? Just create that sort of like fun and playful, flirty atmosphere between the two of you. And another thing that I want to make sure that you do is, or that you don't do, is overshare. Be honest, but don't overshare. This is not the time to share your life's events, and especially when you're just in the app, right? And even in the first date, it's a no-no. So be honest, but don't overshare. Another great tip when you are messaging back and forth on the app or on text messages is that you respond with the same length as his messages. So if he's responding with like 2 or 3 lines, do the same thing. Do 2 or 3 lines. So it has to be like almost the same length. And that it's a very subtle bond between the two of you. And it's a little trick that you can use. So don't if he's messaging this much, don't create like a whole paragraph. That's too much, right? On a message. So stay within the same length as his messages. Okay, and another little tip that I want to add to that is make sure that you check your spelling and grammar, okay? Because he may think that you're, maybe just messy or sloppy, or you're not interested, or, you're just in a hurry. So he's gonna feel as if he's not as important, or you're just, you don't care, or that you're not educated. So you don't want to come off that way, because all he has is your messages. So make sure that your spelling and your grammar are on point. Okay, ladies, I'm going to throw in this tip because I noticed this happens a lot in online dating. So don't get stuck in a fantasy relationship. Okay, so normally you should be waiting between like 2 or 3 weeks that it would take for you to go from the app to actually landing that date. If after 2 or 3 weeks you're still in the app, that's an indication that this guy's just not ready to date, or there may be something, he may be married. I have no clue. But if a guy is not asking you out on a date within the 2 or 3 weeks of you matching on an app, then that's a big red flag. Usually guys that are quality guys that are like, actually looking for a relationship, they do want a commitment. They're going to ask you out even before you mention anything, right? Or they're going to want to call you on the phone even before you ask him to call you on the phone. So those are indications, big indications, that a guy is looking for a more committed, serious relationship. He's not there just wasting his time messaging you, even if it is every single day. I've heard of that, where they message each other every single day, but they don't actually get to meet each other. So big no-no, okay? After 2 or 3 weeks of you guys matching, that's it. After that, move on, look for someone else. Okay, so the next part of this video is all about really good questions to ask guys online to see if they are quality men, and to see if there is potential there, if there is, if you actually can see yourself with this guy. And I've done a little bit of a research on these questions, and I'm going to link a few of those lists below for you so you can take a peek and see which ones you like. But I also created a list of around 10 or 11 that I saw that I was like, yes, that's definitely questions that you can ask him, because you can start seeing, like, based on his answers, if you guys are compatible or not, right? If your core values align or not. And so some of those questions are, so I'll give you some examples, and I'm just looking down because at my computer. So one of them is, what do you value in a friendship? Okay, so this is a great question to ask to see what he values in a friendship, because what he values in a friendship, it would be very sort of similar to what he could value in a relationship. It also allows him to show you where he's at with his relationships, how, meaningful they are. So the next question that I thought was very interesting was, what roles do love and affection play in your life? Okay, so that will show you what his love language is. And that is a great thing to know from your partner. So there's sneaky ways of finding out stuff about him, right? Even before you guys actually meet. So the next great question that I saw was, what's something you could talk about for hours? And this will give you an idea of what his passions are. So if there's anything like a dream that he's working on, and something that he really values, this is going to be the question that he's going to be like, oh my God, I can talk about this thing forever, for hours. Or you could also see this as like, oh gosh, I do not want to listen to this for hours. So it gives you both parts, right? And then I'll just say one more, but I will for sure list them down in the links below, and also you can copy paste these questions that I'll just write them for you. So the last one was, what's the fondest memory you have? Okay, and that's deep, that's meaningful. And that's and it could also create something like a really fun conversation as to why is that such a meaningful memory of his, right? Why does it mean so much to him? So these are really good questions to ask him even before you meet, or when in your first date. You can throw these questions, within the conversation. Make it very light and playful, and see where that takes you. Okay, ladies, so we have come to the very end of this video, and I just want to make sure that you check out the links of the list of these questions, and also take a look at the rest of the questions that I sort of cherry picked from those lists that I found that I thought thought, oh my God, yes, if you ask these questions, they're going to show you, that person will be able to really show you a lot of things that from the get-go that you wouldn't have, a lot of information that you wouldn't normally have from someone unless you spent a lot of time with them. So these are great questions to ask. And like I said previously, make sure that you just kind of throw them in within the conversation, and you don't create like, okay, sit down, these are the questions that I need to ask you. Like, don't make it so demanding and so like, you have to answer them. Make it very playful. Just throw a few of them in the conversation and see where it goes. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please make sure that you like it below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you have any single friends, do let them know about this channel. Okay, till the next one. Bye.